Welcome to the ISTE 2010 radio show, the most hard-hitting multimedia news show on the internet. I'm your host, Lee Wolf. We have an exciting program for you today. Coming up, will the iPad truly revolutionize education? The top 10 Web 2.0 tools every educator should know. And is Google really making us stupid? But first, what is the thing called TPACK, and why should we care? In the studio with me are two faculty members from Michigan State University, Punya Mishra and Matt Koehler, who should actually be in Denver, Colorado, rather than here in East Lansing, Michigan. Hi, Matt. Hi, Punya.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
As you know, in this show, we don't hesitate to ask the tough questions. So let's start. Punya, Matt, what are you doing here? Why aren't you in Denver with all the good folks at the TPACK Symposium?
Well, let us just say we are extremely sorry that we can't make it to the symposium. We would love to be there. It's just that, life got in the way. Matt here just became a dad and is quickly learning that being a dad in reality is far more complicated than being one in theory.
As for Punya here, he just plain and simple messed up.
Hey, we are extremely sorry about this, but we are there virtually, and the organizers have put together a great panel. Judy Harris, Glenn Bull, Ann Thompson, Denise Schmidt, and thanks to you, Lee, we have this multimedia show that we can share with all the people at ISTE.
Well, let's move on. Punya, maybe you can start us off. Why do we need to integrate technology into our teaching?
Are you kidding me? Do we have a choice? I mean, everything around us has been changed by technology. Maybe the only thing that hasn't is school. How terrible is that? Can you think of any discipline, astronomy or political science, art or biology, that has not been changed by technology? So why do we deny this to our students?
And of course, there are the representational opportunities that technologies provide us. Think of simulations in physics and economics, data probes and sensors in biology, digitization and how it has changed photography and music. Also see how these new Web 2.0 technologies that allow users to create, generate, and share ideas and artifacts with each other, that have the potential to allow students, for once, to become part of the conversation in the true sense of the word.
So, what are the greatest challenges that teachers and schools face?
For the longest time, the biggest challenge teachers and schools faced was that of access to technology. I think that has changed. What hasn't changed, however, is the mindset and how teachers are trained and how professional development is done.
Most technology training is divorced from the context in which it is to be taught, the classroom. It is divorced also from the content to be covered. There is enough research to show that this approach just does not work. This is where TPACK comes in.
TPACK. I keep hearing this phrase, TPACK. What is this thing called TPACK, and why should we care?
The idea of TPACK is quite simple, really. It just means that any use of technology, be it a whiteboard or blackboard.com, a straight edge or digital computer, needs to fit with the pedagogical style of the teacher and the content that is to be taught. It's a pretty intuitive argument, really. For instance, if you are teaching the names of the 50 states, some kind of a drill and practice software or a game may be appropriate. Of course, that would not be appropriate for a class on literary interpretation or providing students authentic context for writing and feedback. Using a blog or a wiki may be more appropriate. So think of it in terms of what teachers need to know.
Sorry to break in here, but it's time for a commercial break. Please stay with us. There's lots more as I grill Matt and Punya about explaining the C in TPACK. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
This is not a commercial on UPS. This is something on what teachers need to know. In order to teach, you need to know your content. You also need to know how to teach, your pedagogy. And finally, you need to know about technology, the tools that make your teaching more effective. But the most important of all, you need to know about how content, pedagogy, and technology work together. You need to know about TPACK.
Welcome back. In the studio with us today are Punya Mishra and Matt Koehler from Michigan State University, and they're telling us more about TPACK. When we left off, we were talking about how technology has been changing quite rapidly, and teachers need to know how to use this technology, not just for the heck of it, but to convey subject matter. So, Punya, what do you mean when you say content? What is this C in TPACK?
Typically, when we say content, we mean subject matter, disciplinary knowledge. Physics, art, music, mathematics, you know the usual. So the C in TPACK represents that.
But it is important that we think beyond the traditional disciplinary structures. If you read some of the arguments that have been made for what is important to learn in the 21st century, you will realize that one of the most important skills we need to develop is interdisciplinary skills, creativity and collaboration and so on.
So, what do you suggest?
The important thing, I think, is to remember that technology has played a huge role in this evolution, and it's important that we think of technology as being a possible solution, not in isolation, but in connecting it to deeper ideas of pedagogy and interdisciplinary content. We need to break out of this mold of thinking within disciplinary boxes. The walls between art and engineering exist only in our minds. We need to remember this.
The important thing here is teacher creativity. We must remember that there is no such thing as an educational technology. Teachers need to creatively repurpose existing technologies for pedagogical purposes to teach content. So for instance...
I hate to cut you off again, but I need to take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsor.
Flip video camera, $110. Tennis balls, $13. Transparency film, $23. Markers, $8. Seeing misconceptions disappear when everything comes together? Priceless. There is some knowledge you are born with. For everything else, there's TPACK.
Welcome back to the ISTE 2010 radio show. I'm Lee Wolf, and I'm talking today with Matt Koehler and Punya Mishra about TPACK. So Matt, was that commercial an example of creative repurposing of technology?
Absolutely. Using nothing but a flip camera, you can get children to experience Newton's laws, which incidentally, college undergraduates often fail to understand. The issue is not of high tech, but rather of smart tech, creative tech.
Daniel Pink argues that as our world has changed, we need to change as well. For instance, we started from an agricultural economy, from there to an industrial economy, from there to a knowledge economy where we are today. The world of tomorrow will be a conceptual economy. The question we have to ask ourselves, are we ready for teaching and learning in the conceptual age? I don't think so. I think we are still preparing students for the industrial age, and that age is gone.
For too long, we have focused on using technology. Some focus has now shifted to integrating technology. But rather than using technology to do the same old things, what we need to do is think about innovating with technology. That is key.
This is a lot of fun, but I have to pay the bills. So here's another quick commercial break. Learning is changing, technology is changing. It's time that we change too.
I stand before you today to apologize. The system has failed you. I have failed you. I have failed to help you share your talent with the world when the world needs talent more than ever, yet it's being wasted every day by an educational system steeped in tradition and old ideas. Well, it's time for a new tradition. It's time to realize talent isn't just in schools like this one. It's everywhere. It's time to use technology to rewrite the rules of education. To learn how you learn so we can teach you better. It's time a university adapted to you rather than you adapting to it. It's time for a different kind of university. It's your time.
So, Punya, Matt, what do you think? What do we have to change?
Lee, it's interesting that you played that particular commercial. As it turned out, we saw the same commercial and we were deeply bothered by it. So Punya made his own version of that commercial. This is the age of the mashup, so we made a mashup of this commercial, a mashup with a TPACK twist.
Punya, can we see this new version?
Absolutely. Here it is.
The system has failed you. A system steeped in tradition and old ideas. It's time to realize. It's your time.
Okay, this is cool. So you are saying that it's not just about the pipes to transfer information, but rather thinking deeply about content and pedagogy that changes when we change these pipes?
Exactly. As the mashup says, technology changes everything. It changes what we teach, or the content, and how we teach, the pedagogy.
If I can jump in here, I think we educators need to develop new ways of teaching this new interdisciplinary content. The boundaries between art and science and creativity and design are breaking up. We have to develop new ways of thinking, new ways of being. We have to rethink all that we have been doing in the past.
Well, that's all the time we have today. There is, of course, much more to come. Coming up, Glenn Bull will be talking about digital fabrication, about his tension between new and old pedagogy. Judy Harris on activity structures and getting teachers to respect disciplinary knowledge and pedagogy. Ann Thompson and Denise Schmidt on research on TPACK and what this means for teacher education programs. Exciting stuff. Is there anything you'd like to add, Matt? Punya?
Not really. Maybe just to apologize again for not being able to make it to Denver for ISTE.
I agree. We are indeed sorry that we couldn't be there, but we do hope that everybody has a great conference.
Thanks, Punya. Thanks, Matt. This has been a special broadcast of the ISTE 2010 radio show. Stay tuned for more.